Hello, Sandy Lee Graham. I'm in San Pedro La Laguna, Lake Atalan, Guatemala. You know, there's like 12 villages on this lake, so I'm on one of the villages called San Pedro. And I'm here and you're not, why not? But today I'm going to talk about minimalism. And a lot of people want to label me a minimalist. And I'm not really a minimalist. I actually wrote another book because this one guy, oh, there's a bird. He called me a minimalist. I says, are you a minimalist? And I wrote a whole book called The Hobo Way, Life is an Experiment, because it was basically explaining who I am, that I'm not a minimalist. But in some ways I am. But um, I'll read you a couple quotes. A man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone. Henry David Thoreau. A man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone. So that means you have extra brainwave and you're rich in time and spirit and everything if you don't get involved with a bunch of stuff, like George Carlin said, right? I wrote a quote: life's essentials fit into a backpack. I can have almost everything I own in my backpack. I do have like 3 bags in Kendallville, Indiana, 3 boxes, mostly of products that I want to sell. But I have 1 bag box that is full of memories, right? And that's it. I've gotten rid of absolutely every single anchor that is in my life. But the essentials, the necessities of life versus the superfluous and things. So a minimalist, I don't like this term. I'm going to call it a platitude talker, a virtual signaling person. They want to use this term so that they can hook into you. And I mean, any way you do it, this is clickbait. Okay, this is tempting you to try to understand something about. And a lot of people are in desperate haste to succeed in desperate enterprises, right? That's what Henry David Thoreau. But platitude talkers are people that say really nice things, right? And virtual signature, they say really nice things. At the bottom of that one article, they've got I kind of got an AI, artificial intelligent definition of these things. And they're pretty good definitions when you just say define platitude talker. Okay, but a platitude is something you say nice, like, oh, you really look good today. Okay, and virtue signaling too. But a trendy phrase is a trendy phrase saying virtual signaling, and you see this on all the shows anymore because it's quite obvious that um, people say these politicians are saying anything and everything that makes them appear like, oh, that they're totally in favor of transgender, right? And these, maybe 10% of it people are. The other ones want to act like they're doing. Bud Light really screwed themselves by virtual signaling, trying to have this, I don't know, it's just insane, right? Trying to act like they are, Disney's doing this, right? Um, they're very inclusive, right? And they miss their core people, and basically they insult the the people they're talking. But they're talking in platitudes and they're talking sweet words. There's a way to talk that endears a person to another. Sweet words. They like to say. I'm always laughing when I go to Togo, West Africa. They would go, hey, this is dulce, dulce, dulce. There's masculine and feminine. But different countries will basically say, oh, you're just telling me sweet words, right? Sweet words are things that, are platitudes. Oh, you look good today. You're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And they mean nothing but they make people feel good, right? But you also have sweet words that are annoying. Um, Using cliches or overused expressions is what I call a platitude talker. Cliches are needed, okay? The first thing you learn in writing is don't use cliches. And I'm 100% disagree. You have to use cliches and idioms and metaphors and analogies because you got to have some way that the person can hook onto something that they understand. Or an epigraph. An epigraph is a quote at the top. So you want to go hook onto something, right? But the power of words. Um, Refrain from labeling individuals with terms like minimalist, conservations, or simpler. I'm talking in the article. I say, what do you go into a park and you walk up to a nice girl and you want to endear yourself and you're going to say, oh, you're a minimalist. Oh, you're a conservationist. Oh, you're a nature lover. Now she might like that. But the thing is that that's not a way to win friends and influence people, right? This is not the way to open a conversation. And the same kind of for me. Why would I ever label myself a minimalist? I'm not a minimalist. I'm a guy that gets the maximum out of life, right? But but there are sweet words that are hypnotizing, melodic, and the way we say them kind of hypnotize. Some people, I've had girlfriends that say, "Just talk. I like to hear you talk." Okay, but that's what you want in a wife or a girlfriend or somebody you share time with. They have to like the way you just talk. Doesn't mean they have to listen to it, but they have to like to hear the noise of you talking, the talk, the blathering, right? But the hum, Shonda Rhimes did she did a TED talk. She's the one that wrote the book. No, wrote the words for 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. But she does a TED talk where she talks about getting the hum, the buzz. But we need to get into the buzz of what is our life. We have to become intimate, okay, when we're talking to somebody, okay. But minimalism is it's a buzzword. It's just a virtual signaling word. It's a platitude, right? But we need these things. We need to be told certain phrases so we feel comfortable. Some people need to hear that they look good today. Some that's a platitude. The fat old lady looks like crap, but you say, "Oh, you're really good." One of the things I do here, which is a platitude, is I call all the senoras, the older women, senorita. Hola, senorita, ¿cómo estás? Because it's like saying, "Hey, young girl, how are you doing?" And she knows she's old, but she wants to be called a senorita. And I don't want to be called an old man. I mean, there's people that do this. They walk up and say, "Hey, old man," and you're going, "Okay, how to lose friends and not influence people." Okay, Dale Carnegie's book. I mean, like, I am amazed at how many people think that talking sarcastically, when they type in here something sarcastically and smart, like, dude, you got to do this. And I just love to block them because they just have no clue how to have empathy. That it's very, very disconcerting. It's not funny, okay? Um, you, everybody that thinks they're funny is not funny, okay? Fencing with words. I'm going to talk about a phrase that really influenced me when I was about 16. The rock group Five Man Electrical Band sang a song called Signs. Okay, signs, signs, everywhere there's signs. But in a thing, um, oh, my notes really screwed up. I have to go up. Platitude talkers, but I should always check those notes, right? But in the song, it's about they had a sign: long-haired, freaky people need not apply. Okay, so the guy tucked his hair up under his hat. He walked in, but he said, "What gives you the right to put up a sign to keep all the nature in or the mother nature out?" Okay, basically, we put up signs and we call people minimalists to put them into a fence. We want to encircle them with our opinions. And my psychiatrist, when I was in treatment center for 30 days, said, "Andy, you have way too many opinions. What you've done is made the person incapable of talking to you." I give 50 opinions, and the person's afraid of offending any of those 50 opinions, right? And that's controlling by accident. Not that I was trying to do it, but thank you, Lord, for thinking about me. I'm alive and doing fine. That's what we got to remember. Okay. Thank you, Lord. But a platitude talker. Let's see if I can find this thing. There's a there's a very good thing in this song where where playing with Mother Nature, basically, to keep Mother Nature in. Okay. Um, we want to corral our natural. There's people that want to corral us with their social norms. They want to say whatever. Um, Minimalist. Why would I want to be a minimalist? No, I want to get the most pleasure possible out of life. Okay, I'm not trying to get the minimal, but you can look at it in another way. Um, yeah, I don't want a car. I don't want any of these possessions. And so in one way I'm a minimalist. But inside my room, I have very few things to so I can conserve my thinking. But there's a door. So that door is a way to go outside. The door, when you go inside, there's people that go in their house and spend their whole time trying to work on their house. Okay. And if they have you know, can you imagine having a 10,000 square foot house? You would spend all your time trying to maintain it. And in the United States, it's very gauche almost to have servants, right? But here you can have servants and have a bigger house. But servants are no good. I don't like servants because I have to manage them. Who wants a servant? I want a small enough room that I don't need a cleaning person, right? Okay, but you have this door. On one side of it is the world, and the other side is your home. And some people never go outside, and that's where I'm opposite. I'm a kind of a minimalist in my room, and I'm a maximus, maximizing my world outside. So I have. How could you call anybody that's gone to 114 countries a minimalist? Man, I've got the world. I got a geopolitical huge world, right? I am not in the least confined by a minimalistic view of the world. I'm actually a huge collector of experiences. I guess the millenniums are supposedly doing it, but I think that's, you understand that thing? Make me puke. I was watching it. Supposedly the minimalists, I mean the millenniums, are not interested in money. They want to have experiences. No, they want to have shitloads of money and basically virtual signal and say they don't want things, right? As they buy everything. They buy, they get a $1,400 Apple phone, and it's amazing what they have, right? And a minimalist is easy to I mean, not a minimalist, but a person that's very efficient has very few things to take care of because each thing you have needs taken care of. And you go into a business guy's office and it's just piled all over with stuff, right? And why? Because that is his helicopter pad. That's his, it's his flight deck. It's where everything is decided, right? And he or she doesn't have 18 different offices. When Elon Musk said he slept on the floor of his factory, what did he do? He removed that interface of time going back and forth. He was always ready and available. He don't sleep in his factory all the time. He just did it when he was really starting. Oh, but the song, which is a good song, Five Man Electrical, the Five Man Electrical Band in 1971 sang a song called Signs. Then this Tesla group, which is kind of a funner version of it, really is really aggressive, gross way of saying it, but it's good. It's excellent, excellent music. But what it's saying is, let's just be sharing life, right? Let's not put up fences around our world. But minimalism is a fence. That term is a fence. If I label you, if people want to call me a hobo, and I don't, I did this word for fun. I didn't do it to be always, I was doing it just for fun. Okay. And there's part of me that is a hobo as an itinerant traveler. I was looking for jobs. But the last thing I am is really a hobo. I'm a guy that lives really good. Okay. And a lot of people think I only stay in cheap rooms. I go, well, do you want me to talk about only living in five-star hotels? How I spent 6 months living in Hiltons and Sheratons in the United States? That's not very inclusive, right? It's not giving you the ability to go travel. It's basically making it so it's impossible for you to go travel. But a lot of people only want to dream. They don't actually want a realistic life. But I'm all about experience and sharing an experience that possible thing. But we don't want to put fences on people. We don't, definitely, men. I'm always amazed how few men understand. It's so easy to meet a girl if you just sit there and listen, right? And then they say, "Oh, I'm going to go buy a dress," and you go, "Oh, well, where are you going to buy a dress?" Open-ended questions. It's like what a psychiatrist knows how to do. You ask a question hooked onto what they just said, and that's how you mimic a person. And if you do that, they're going to say, "Man, you are really a fun person to talk to." Okay. But this is how to win friends and influence people. You basically say their name. Okay, Tiffany, you are this. You say their name, and then you keep doing open-ended questions. Eventually, you start finding common ground. Okay, then you have a reciprocity conversation. But I don't. I'm not a minimalist. I'm a person that lives the maximum amount of life. I keep thinking of Maximus, the guy in Maximus, Russell Crowe in the movie Gladiator. I've watched this thing probably 8 times. He says this really long phrase on who he is, right? But I want to conquer the world. So calling me a minimalist is acting like I'm not interested in things. I'm a maximalist. I'm a guy that maximizes my world. Okay, but I maximize my experience. So maybe everybody says that they don't care about material things as they buy stuff. You can always tell if you're interested in material things if every time you turn around you go buy something on the weekend, or if you get an Amazon product delivered to you every day of the week, you're addicted to buying. Okay, but Tim Ferriss, when he went to Europe, he went to Europe on I don't know, he went on Europe and he was living in hostels and he was running a business where he was selling some sort of products. He wrote the book, The 4 Hour Work Week. And it was kind of interesting because when he was there, he realized that he could get get things done very, very fast in the internet cafe, and that he was not being very effective when he was home. But your world will expand or shrink to the size of your room. Your world will expand or shrink to the size of the space and time you have. So if you only have 5 minutes to do it, you're going to be very effective. If you have 5 hours to do it, they're going to think about it for 3 hours. Then it's like, I never studied in university except the last moment. Why would I go study until the last moment? I wait until everything for the last moment because that's when I can focus. But what I would try to get people to realize is just that phrase. Your life will expand according to the space and time that you have. So why do I live in small rooms? I can't expand. The time, I I have all the time in the world to spend with my friends, and when I'm working, I'm very, very fast at doing things. Okay, um, but I actually do not work. What I do is I play all the time, and then I take notes while I'm playing. And so and then it all comes together at a certain point. So the art of life to me is to play 24 hours a day and take notes so that when you want to do some kind of work or talk or collection, like when I have an employee or something, I start collecting a list and I keep adding to it. But a lot of people get really angry. They think that they're going to sit down at Starbucks and work for a half hour and collect 50 great ideas. That's not brainstorming. Brainstorming is, oh, you have an idea. So I always laugh. One of the worst things that was when I was working out in the United States. So I'd have to take notes while I was working out because the minute I start working out, I have one of those real, those notes, those buzzword, catch this, make me feel, remember phrases where I do it. I get up in the middle of the night and write down notes. Hey, but platitudes are not walking the walk and talking the talk. What I want to do is have a correlation between what you say in life and what you do. And that's my goal. My goal is to be an honest person, but when I say something, I live it. I'm not just saying it to do it. And one of the reasons why I'm like Henry David Thoreau is because I've really only worked, a couple hours a day. But it's really hard to define what is work, right? But I truly know that if you only live with the essentials of what's in a backpack, what you have is an overabundance of free time to have experience. The minute that you start collecting and collecting and collecting, those things you buy own you. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm here and you're not. Why not? Hit that subscribe button. And I'm actually going to go back to these guys that are live. There's still 13 of them. Life is good, guys. And anybody that would like to come to San Pedro or Lake Atalan in the next couple of months, I can make your life really simple. Okay, I'm not offering to do that for free. I'm offering to say I can make things simpler. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Why not? Because I'm only carrying a backpack full of stuff, and my life, I have so much brainwave left over to experience the world. That's why.